don't freak out, okay? I already know what you're thinking. You're thinking, who the hell is this pasty, bald-headed bastard staring back at me? Well, let me assure you that I am, in fact, D-Mogul. The same D-Mogul that you've always known. I can explain everything in detail. Why I look different, why I'm acting different. Here's what happened, okay? I was driving down the road, obeying all the rules of the road, minding my own business, listening to the Backstreet Boys, listening to not the Backstreet Boys, and I was coming up to an intersection where I had the right of way, and the guy coming the other way didn't. He had a stop sign. And so I'm just cruising along, and this guy in this truck failed to stop at the stop sign, and he crashed right into me. Now, this truck, he was hauling some kind of chemicals, like excrement, chemicals, harsh stuff. I don't know what it was. But when he crashed, his tank burst open and spilled everywhere. My windshield broke, and all those chemicals came flooding into my car, covering me head to toe in whatever that stuff was. You know, like in Batman, when Batman punched the Joker and he fell off the railing and crashed into that pool of that green stuff? It was exactly like that, except I didn't get punched in the face, and Batman wasn't driving that truck. Somebody was. I got the incident report. It's not important. But those chemicals spilled all over me, and that is why I look the way that I do. Now, that we have that covered, you're probably thinking, I still know you're not D-Mogul, because D-Mogul is a very soft-spoken, gentle kind of guy, and you're acting like you're high on something. Well, if you had just been in a traumatic accident like that, would you be acting yourself? Probably not. So don't judge me about how I'm acting after my traumatic accident and being covered in sludge of who knows what kind of origin. I've had to deal with this, right? Like my skin everywhere. And this, like my first layer of skin, and apparently under my second layer of skin, there was a tattoo. I don't know how it got there, but it's there. And I have to deal with these things. And finally, I just want to say, if I wasn't D-Mogul, could I do this? So now that we have established that I am D-Mogul, I would like to share something with all of you, my friends, my subscribers, my viewers, my family, whoever you might be. You see, after my traumatic accident with the sludge truck, I was stumbling around outside of my car when I saw an SD card laying on the ground, and I thought it might be important. I thought it might be mine. It was undamaged, so I took it home. I saw what's on there, and not really sure what it was dash cam videos, and it was kind of interesting. It gave me something to do while I was recuperating after my traumatic crash into the sludge truck. And so right here, right now, I'm going to share those videos with you of what was on that SD card. And I hope you enjoy it. This first video has me driving into Elwood City, Pennsylvania, which is a small, tiny little town north of Oh, Philadelphia? I don't know if that's right. Anyways, Elwood City, Pennsylvania, small little town. And, it looks like I'm driving really slow. It's definitely too slow for this video, so let's go ahead and speed it up a little bit. So I'm in town now, doing the speed limit, obeying the rules of the road. As you just saw, speed limit was 25 miles per hour, when all of a sudden, from one of the cross streets, this jackhole from Werner Enterprises decides to pull out in front of me, causing me to have to hit my brakes. Now, thankfully, I was doing the speed limit, 25 miles per hour, because had I been driving recklessly, say, I don't know, 73 miles per hour, that could have been a disaster. And I was hauling hazardous materials at the time, so that guy, I hope he gets malaria. Take note of this white sedan right here that is passing me. He goes around me, he's in the passing lane, everything is fine so far. He wants to get ahead of me, which is fine. He goes back into the right-hand lane, which is the drive lane, exactly what he should do. But the problem begins, or things become an issue, is when, for reasons unknown, this human wasteland decides to start slowing down. As you can see, I'm slowly getting closer and closer because he has decided, I don't want to be going as fast as I was going, so I'm just going to slow down. Now, it's unfortunate that he didn't decide this before he passed me, and sometimes something like this can happen for quite a while. It didn't happen this time, but somebody will pass me, get in front of me, slow down, so I go around them. A few miles again later down the road, they pass me once again just to slow down. I go around them, pick a speed, and stick to it for the love of whatever it is you believe. Stop doing that. In this video, I come in contact with a below average, run-of-the-mill, typical mouth breathers of the road, which I generally refer to as Sleepy Time Sam, and you can see him right now dead straight ahead of me. He is on the interstate. Don't know which interstate that is. I believe it was somewhere in Mississippi, maybe. But he's going super slow, which, okay, I guess that's fine. But if you're going to go slow, just stick to the side roads and leave the interstates to the people who know where their accelerator is and how to use it. But I don't want to get hung up behind Sleepy Time Sam because clearly he is asleep at the wheel just as well as he is asleep at life. So I go to pass him, and it is somewhere possibly around, it's coming. Right about now, Sleepy Time Sam wakes up and says, "Oh, geez, there's a semi-truck passing me. I must be going super slow. So, you know what I'll do? I'll be a total knobhead and just start speeding up, even though this vehicle is trying to pass me." If somebody's passing you, let them pass you. Don't hang up the road like that, like a complete numpty like this guy. And as I said before, pick a speed and stick to it. Don't be like this guy, a complete, certified, fresh, top shelf moron. Here we have yet another Sleepy Time Sam. Now, I didn't get the video before this, but I was going to pass him or her, it could be either one, and they decided to speed up once again. They realized, oh gosh, the semi's passing me. I must be asleep at the wheel because that just doesn't make any sense. And see, I put on my brights because they started slowing down yet again. For reasons unknown, then they turn on their turn signal, even though there's no exit coming up, so maybe they just want to pull off onto the side of the road and have a think, reflect on all the poor decisions that they've made in their life. Maybe look up the rules of the road. Maybe a YouTube tutorial on how not to be a complete dickhead on the roadways. I doubt that's what they're going to do, but we can only hope. And we can also hope that they use that opportunity on the side of the road to... I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to be like that. I shouldn't wish that on anybody. But, yeah, I if that person was not with us anymore, I'd be okay with that. And yet another example of a Sleepy Time Sam. I'm coming up to him there, or her, once again. Don't want to be exclusionary, but I switch lanes because they are driving slow AF. And at some point, they look in their mirror after they've woken up and they realize, oh, a semi's passing me. That must mean I'm going really slow. Let me pop into my glove box, grab my accelerator, screw it on, and be on my way because I finally decided to rub together the only two little brain cells that I have, and they are well on their way to make some other driver's life miserable. And the other driver that they are going to make miserable, well, that just so happens to be me again. Because once again, they have decided to slow down. And once again, I go to pass them. And this time they engage in another psychotic hatred of mine. This one will not be captured on video because it happens on the side of me. But what happens in a lot of these instances, these people that fall asleep and are just completely unconscious of what's going on, they kind of become half awake. Half asleep, half awake, 50-50, a little bit of each, and they just accelerate enough to match my speed. If you got a death wish, that is a fantastic option to take. Because if I happen to blow a steer tire on my passenger side, it's going to jerk my whole truck to the right. I'm going to crash into you and probably kill you. But see, this guy in this white pickup truck, he knows what's what. And his life is perfectly sorted. The person in that SUV, not so much. Keep an eye on this first white vehicle entering the roadway. This is what I call the late bloomer. It's a very close cousin to Sleepy Time Sam. A person that is not always there, probably never there, but they get onto a roadway and they kind of realize like, I just entered a highway. Maybe I should, hit the accelerator. And as you can see, they are well on their way to make somebody's life a complete misery on the roadways of the United States of America. Here we have a video from California where several trucks, including myself, are going up a steep incline. Now, the far left lanes, no trucks are allowed, but that doesn't stop this guy who's clearly in a hurry to deliver his stuffs. The guy with the red logo on his trailer. But what's this? Mr. California Highway Patrol is coming to, well, put you on the naughty list because he's about to pull that guy over. There's cherries are on and he's going to pull him to the side of the road. Now, truck violations are pretty expensive. But if you're lucky, all the cop will do is pull you off on the side of the road and shove his fist up your ass, which doesn't cost you any money, just a little discomfort, which this guy more than likely is probably going to find out because California is not, I repeat, is not a trucker-friendly state. Not slate, state. Not even going to bother redoing that because, I'm not a perfectionist, except when I am. And then I would redo it. California, not a trucker-friendly state whatsoever. Fun fact, California speed limit for trucks, no matter where, no matter if you're in the middle of the desert, no matter if you're in the middle of a field, is 55 miles per hour. So, California, you suck. In this video, we have a late bloomer / wrong pedal Pete who doesn't understand that when you're entering the interstate, you need to be accelerating. But no, what does he do? He hits the brakes. Yes, why not? I wasn't going slow enough as it is, so I'll just go a little bit slower. But then... bam, bam, bam. He's on his way to mess up other people's lives on the roads of the United States of America. In this video, we don't have any bad or annoying drivers, but we do have a semi-truck driver from JB Hunt whose mobile meth lab in the back of his rig caught fire and it burned his entire truck to a crisp. Let's go back and look at that again. Alright, I legitimately don't know if there was a mobile meth lab. I'm just saying that because, I don't know, it seems funnier. It could have been all sorts of things. Maybe his brakes overheated. Maybe he had Taco Bell just a little too much 3 days in a row. Maybe he dropped his cigarette. Maybe he was hauling something flammable and decided to flammabilize or whatever the scientician word is for that. I don't know, but look at this guy. He's in a hurry. We have all seen those signs that are posted all over the place to look twice for motorcycles and to always be careful around motorcycles, like there's some little gentle babies that need to be cared for and caressed and coddled. And I get it, you're on a bike, car hits you, you're probably going to get killed. And if you're wearing a helmet, you'll at least get an open casket funeral. But then there are motorcycle drivers like this guy that we are about to see that are just so careless and reckless. And this is why I have a dash cam, because at any moment, any time, doesn't matter what state you're in, you can run into one of these mutants. They end up killing themselves. And, you know, when it comes to matters of semi-trucks in accidents, semi-trucks generally get the blame, and that's when the lawsuits start flying around, because they know a lot of these trucking companies have the big bucks. Now, I switched lanes here, and I'm going to pass this YRC wiggle wagon. That's what we call the trailers that have two pup trailers in a row. And here comes Mr. Motorcycle Man being stupid, and look, he cuts in front of that semi-truck. Now, and that semi-truck started changing lanes. Let's go look at that a little bit more up close. Here's the mouth breather coming up. Now he cuts in front of this YRC, and the CFI doesn't really have any time to really see him, so he starts changing lanes, and the guy in the motorcycle realizes that he's a first-class idiot, and he goes onto the shoulder. So when you see those signs that say look twice for motorcycles, it's mainly because a lot of them drive like complete idiots. I'm not saying it's all of them, but in my experience driving 125,000 miles a year all across the United States, there's way more morons than ones driving completely safely and okay. Such as like that guy. Now, if that CFI happened to smash that guy all over the road, you know, that would be on him. You know, it's always the trucker's fault, always the trucker's fault. But in this case, there'd be video evidence that the guy in the motorcycle is a complete moron, and nobody's going to be suing anybody because he died because he's an idiot. The rest of these videos are just going to be kind of like fun, cheeky, cool stuff kind of that I see. And this one is in Kearney, Nebraska. Now, I've taken this route across Interstate 80 many times. And in Kearney, Nebraska, you come across this gigantic archway. and it's taken us a little while to get there, so I'll just speed it up and slow it down. So this right here is the archway in Kearney, Nebraska. Now, I have no idea what it is, what's in there, what it does. Maybe I'm the only one that can see it. I don't know. But I have discovered, as you can see to the right, which I don't know how I've never noticed this before, but there is truck parking there. So next time I have a chance to get through there and have some extra time, I'm going to go to the archway, camera in hand, and see what's what. This is one of those like, aw, kind of moments. We were stuck in traffic in this town that I believe was either New Jersey or Pennsylvania, and we had been sitting there for quite a long time. I don't even remember what the reason was. It wasn't a train. It might have been a super wide load going through, something like that. I don't know. I don't remember. Anyways, this guy in front of me, as you see, he's getting out, and we are gonna fist fight. No, I'm just kidding. That doesn't happen. That would have been pretty funny, though, wouldn't it? I probably would have lost, but that's okay. He grabs himself a drink out of the back of his pickup, and he actually offers me one. He's like, hey, you want one, buddy? And I was like, no, I'm cool. And in my head, I'm thinking, I don't know what the hell you put in there. You could have tried roofing me or something, and then once I'm incapacitated, you will try to take advantage of me, and I wasn't about to fall for that. But anyways, I thought it was a very nice gesture by that complete stranger, and it really touched my heart or something. This is the Greater Chicago 55 Truck Plaza in Bolingbrook, Illinois. And I was fueling up my truck, just kind of going about my business, doing my little thing whenever I am fueling up, when all of a sudden the truck to the left of me, the passenger or driver's side, sorry, he starts pulling forward. Now, if you look at the video, you can see that kind of like by the front driver's side mirror, that little yellow thing. They got these big yellow, I don't know the right word, a ballast or something. These big concrete pillars so trucks don't crash into the fuel island. Or if they do, they at least won't crash into the pumps. And so this guy next to me, he starts pulling out and he just judges it the wrong way, and he starts turning way too early, and his wheels hit that yellow ballast concrete pillar thingy. And the thing about truck tires, oh, there's me walking back. The thing about truck tires, they are at a very high pressure, up to 110 psi. So give it a listen. It scared the shit out of me. Now, I don't know if you heard me there, but I said, Jesus Christ. Now, at this point, I didn't know what made that loud bang. I was looking around what happened because I was focused on my own little task. But then I seen that guy and I realized that was his tire that blew up. And he damaged his rim, obviously, so that was expensive. He's probably a company driver, so he doesn't have to pay it. But his company's going to be like, dude, what? How did that happen? What? Why weren't you paying attention? Obviously, and that's when I realized that it was his tire that blew up and scared the ever-loving F out of me. It doesn't translate so much into the audio. I mean, it is super loud. I mean, for example, if I'm driving along, I've blown a tire before. Even if it's way back on the trailer, you feel it and you hear it. It is like a shotgun blast. They are very powerful, very loud, and there's lots of videos on YouTube of truck tires exploding, and this was one of those instances. And fortunately, I did not soil myself. And lastly, there is this video, as we've already seen multiple times. This was the same video after the guy offered to give me the roofied Gatorade. But driving through small towns happens a lot. We've already seen that several times. And sometimes we have to make really, really tight turns. And this is not one of them, but it is coming up shortly. It's the kind of turn where you really have to make use of all the room because it's just such a tight squeeze, and it can be a hassle sometimes because regular car drivers don't realize this, and they don't give you the room that you need. But here we go, a right-hand turn, getting all of my trailer. I'm using up all the space I have. Fortunately, those people are not past the line. Well, that guy kind of is because he's a ding-dong, but I still managed because I am a professional. Don't quote me on that, but I did manage to get around that turn without hitting anything or anybody, and my pride remained intact, and I carried on strongly and bigly. That's not a word. Oh well, we'll just go with it anyways. But yeah, so that is it. We have to deal with tight turns a lot. And in Louisiana, that one has a lot of tiny little towns where we have to drive through sometimes and make these crazy turns. And the only thing that makes them a hassle, of course, is other drivers. So just keep that in mind, that when it comes to semi-trucks, we don't accelerate fast, we definitely don't stop fast, and we are not very agile and nimble like passenger vehicles are. And we don't stop fast. That is the most important thing to remember. So keep that in mind the next time you get in front of a semi-truck, and don't leave them enough room to brake. Because if for some reason you need to stop quickly, we're not going to be able to. We're going to rear-end you and more than likely kill you. And we don't want to do that. Most accidents between passenger vehicles and semi-trucks are caused by passenger vehicles. So just keep these things in mind. I mean, we need a lot of room to make turns, so don't go trying to squeeze past us real quick, because you're just going to cause a problem, more than likely going to cause an accident. And a lot of truckers have dash cams just like I do, and your insurance company is going to know that you're at fault, and your insurance company is going to hate you because these trucks cost a lot to be repaired. I just had to replace my passenger side light housing. It cost $900 just for the LED housing. So don't make your insurance company hate you. If you are still here, thank you so much for sticking around, even though this video doesn't have my typical, refined style of making videos. But it's going to take me a while to completely recover, and so thank you for watching, and I hope you're having a fantastic April 1st, and I hope that Santa brings you everything you wanted, or something. I'm not really sure how to end this, so I guess I'll just awkwardly wave and you close the window